Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, Warrior Revolution, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
I'm back. I am back. Well, at least I am mostly back, and I am cautiously optimistically celebrating with you. I it's been 54 days of hell. And my Facebook accounts, all my business accounts, all everything has been restored with a small asterisk and some small fine print. There are restrictions on my accounts, and I'm not out of the woods yet, but we need to take a win today, team. We need to take a win. So I'm here with part two. And if you missed part one, that was episode 84 on how I lost everything. I lost all of my social media accounts except for one. And so I'm not going to go back today in this episode and explain to you how I lost them. If you want to know the agonizingly painful story of how I lost control of my accounts, go back to episode 84. I'll put it in the show notes so you can just click. But what happened? So how? Go back and listen. But just quickly to bring you up to speed, if you missed that episode on what happened, I lost my Facebook profile account, my primary Facebook account, the one I've been operating for, gosh, like 15 years. Um, the profile is my name, my legal name, Ellen Elizabeth DeWord, and it had the keys to the kingdom. So when that account was taken, along with it went 4 business pages associated with our 4 group fitness formats. Gone. Gone. I lost the ability to connect with a Warrior General Facebook page. I lost everything. I lost everything on Facebook. I lost all 4 brand accounts on Instagram. I lost this Confessions of a Group X Instructor little Instagram account. I lost the Instagram account for my animals, including videos and pictures of 2 of our dogs and 1 of our cats who have passed away, and all of their most sacred, special, meaningful videos and pictures. A tattoo account, a private account where I sort of made a chronology of the process of getting a bodysuit tattoo, wrist to ankle. I lost a watercolor account, Whimsical Watercolors by Elle. The only thing I had left was my primary Instagram account, Ellen DeWord. So I've been online socially only in that capacity really since. I did try to make a new Facebook account, but right away Meta realized that that was me trying to make another account. Same IP address, same name, same, you know, same everything. So I've had extreme difficulty trying to navigate on Facebook ever since to operate business and to communicate with my instructor groups on there. So that's kind of what happened. I was devastated more than you would think, more than I would think. If someone would have told me this was going to happen to me, I would not have believed them if they tried to explain how profoundly this would affect my life and upset me. Honestly, it's been a very thick, heavy, very, very thick and heavy cloud these last 54 days. I lost pictures of my wedding. I lost pictures of my kids, their birthday parties, their special moments. I lost everything. And I kept, uh, needing, a picture of my daughter, or I kept looking for things that were just gone. Moreover, I had this like sort of cloak of despair that my business would be profoundly affected and would continue to suffer, um, that I would never be able to run ads, that I had lost my reach. Even something as small as trying to promote a local event that I did recently, um, I was, was challenging because I couldn't get the word out. So now I'm going to talk to you about how I have my accounts recovered. And because again, let me restate this in case you missed the first part one. Let me restate that the level of hacking was so egregious and so nefarious and so evil. I don't want to say what it was, so I'm not going to, but it had to do with children. Some acts with children were posted on my profile by a hacker, which disabled the account and all associated accounts. And so when people try to suggest that I just like go through the process of reporting a hacking to reinstate, it was like that's not even what I'm dealing with. So none of the normal routes that people would use to recover their accounts worked in my situation. Um, so, but there were a few people that reached out with some little tidbits. One, Nicole Printon, who does our Nutrition Bite segment, she was like, "Hey, I got hacked once. I reached out to this email and they responded immediately." And she's like, "I had to upload my ID and, you know, I got the accounts restored." So I emailed that email address every day, but they never responded. They never acknowledged receipt of my email. And I tried to email them from different email accounts. And I had like 15 pages of evidence of the hacking, screenshots. Um, I had my ID in there. I had proof that I was a legitimate business owner. I had my, articles of incorporation and letters from the, tax IDs and my official business registry. I had every single URL from every account that went away. Um, I had a detailed chronology of what happened, really clearly stating my case, stating my case. And I would send it over and 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 over to that email. I also hired someone to help with cybersecurity. I talked about that in the last episode, so I won't go into that. But that company did maintain a chat over the last 54 days with Meta. We had a case number, and to varying degrees of success. They were aware that we were trying to reinstate the accounts. Then someone that I knew from long time ago reached out to me. Her name's Charlie Jacobs, PIO instructor. Haven't seen her for a zillion years, and she let me know that she knew someone who used to work for Meta. So I was desperate. I was trying everything. So I reached out to that person. I was like, hey, I texted this random stranger saying, could you help me? And he said, can we get on the phone? I need to make sure you're a real person. So we got on the phone the next day, had an appointment, and I cried because I was a wreck. And he said he no longer worked for Meta, but he had a good friend that still did, that he would try to get in because he explained they do stonewall you and you'll never penetrate the stonewall unless you know someone on the inside. So he's like, I can try, but I can't guarantee it. So now we're talking about Charlie Jacobs, an old good acquaintance of mine, old friend who knew someone who knew someone. I'm like four people removed from this guy, and he said he would help. He also, small world, seemed to know who my tattoo artist was. So that was kind of a fortuitous connection. I hired a law firm um, out of New York who works with intellectual property and cyber crimes. I wasn't gonna sue Meta because I'm under no delusions that I would ever be successful in that endeavor. But they had had some success at dealing with legal team with a demand letter, uh, and they have had some success with cases like mine. Um, and I had a group of people that I asked to pray for me. I texted a group of people that I believed would pray for me and asked them to continue to pray. I asked my mom to pray for the restoration of my accounts, and we asked our church to pray for the restoration of my accounts. And I continued to get spam emails that looked like they were from Meta, wanting me to click and reinstate, but they were clearly spammy, and they like the fonts were weird, and the email address was weird, and so I didn't click on anything. And then yesterday, out of the blue, I got an email saying it looks like your account might have been hacked. Click here to reinstate. And at that point, I was I think I was talking to Sabrina, my friend Sabrina. She's been on the show, the one I went to the Poconos with. Um, she, I, we got on Zoom, and I'm like, will you look at this? I was freaking out. I was like shaking and adrenalized, and I was like, oh my gosh, do I click? I'm terrified to click a button. I'm terrified to click on anything ever again anymore, like forever and ever. Amen. Like, I will never even click on a Nike ad ever. I will never click on anything. Don't ever send me anything. I'll never click on it. I will never click on anything ever again because these scams are becoming so pervasive and so real that it really looks like the company, the legitimate company. And it can even come from a legitimate company email. So I was terrified, and Sabrina was like, let's do it. It looks real. We did a couple little testy things to make sure that it was like actually from Meta. And so I was like shaking like a leaf, and I'm like, you know how like you lose higher brain functioning when you're trying to teach and the mic doesn't work and you can't think and you're like don't know why it won't work because you're nervous because it's time to start class and the mic doesn't work, but all it is like the receiver power button got turned off, but you can't think straight because of your like emotion. I was in that state times a million, and I like could not think. So I'm like, can you go on Zoom with me and help me like walk through this? So we get on Zoom, and like it said that there were 19 accounts of that thing that I don't want to say, posted on my various groups and pages, and that they had been removed. And it asked if I wanted to like agree that I had broken community guidelines or dispute it. And actually, I was gonna say dispute it. My understanding of that was to dispute it. That no, I haven't broken community. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was a victim. I'm innocent. But she's like, no, 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 agree. 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 So I was like shaking and I hit agree. And then it told me that like um I was going to be restricted, like I wouldn't be able to post in groups for like a few days. I wouldn't be able to go live for like a few weeks. I wouldn't be able to run ads till like January of 2026. Like something like that. Like it just kept giving me alerts of like bans and restrictions that were going to be on my account. And then all of a sudden, I saw my account. All of a sudden it was there. And I like couldn't even believe it. And I'm like, is it really there? And then she looked on her phone and she's like, it is there. No, first she's like, no, it's not there. And my heart fell through the floor. And then she's like, wait a minute. Now it is here. And then my heart went through the ceiling. And then we got like a thing, a box popped up that said, your account has been blocked. And I like then or yes, disabled. And then my heart went through the floor again. And she's like, "Wait, just X out of that. Maybe that was just let's try to keep going. X out of that." And then um and then I was like, "Okay, I'm going to see if I can post something." And so I started drafting a post and I got a phone call in that moment from Victoria Carmen, one of my master trainers in Idaho. Actually, it started with a text and then we got on the phone, but I'm Zooming Sabrina. And Victoria's like, oh my gosh, Ellen, I think you're back. Well, her text said, I think your Facebook's back online because your content just repopulated. Because everything I ever posted was gone, like had gone forever. She's like, your content is back. And she's like, but there's this most horrible video I've ever seen in my life in the warrior combat group. So I like go, I'm like, my hands are shaking. I open the combat group. I put my hand up because I can't see like horrible things. I'm like, I have a super sensitive I'm super sensitive to stuff, so I like tried to shield myself from seeing it, but I also had to find it. And I like was shaking like a leaf. I could barely hit the delete button. I deleted the post. And then she's like, now I see it in the Revolution group. So I went to the Revolution group and I deleted it. And then she's like, it's in the Warrior Live group. So I went to Warrior Live and I deleted it. And we found it like 5 places. It was a different um video than the other one that had been the 19 videos that had been posted that were related to children. It was something else. And it was absolutely the most disgusting thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Um, and I'm so sad that Victoria and Sabrina also had to see it. And I pray to God I deleted every shred of it. I spent the next like 4 hours going through different Facebook groups that I used to be a part of or had ever created. And, I had I had 466 groups, which is insane. Just from like years and years of being online and running accountability groups for fitness and stuff. Um, I I spent hours and hours and hours like scrolling and searching for posts by me to make sure that that one didn't come up. Um, and I hope, I pray I removed it because otherwise, I would lose if like that, if that is still out there and associated with my account, I imagine I will lose it all again. So, the other account that I had made on Facebook that, first of all, for those of you out there that gave it a follow, thank you so much. Let's keep your follow there because I'm going to keep that account basically as like a backup. I won't I won't continue to post on it at this point. I will leave it as a backup account in case I do lose this account again. I do feel things are somewhat tenuous. I think that what happened was that the like AI bots of Meta like found the posts related to children through their like web and like immediately removed them and disabled my account. But somewhere in that process, this other video that came from the bowels and depths of hell from Satan himself that got posted across those 5 groups that we saw, that must have been like stuck in the pipeline. Like that must have been like that must have gotten posted and not caught. So that's why it must have shown up yesterday at like 4:30 when I came back to the world online. So as soon as that account got reinstated, every other single account that I lost came back online. So again, I don't have full access. Um, in fact, I haven't even logged into the Instagram accounts for the unique brands yet because I just, like I said, I spent the entire day combing through 466 Facebook groups to the best of my ability, trying to make sure that video hadn't been posted there. I did put a post on my page saying if any of you see anything disgusting and horrible, please let me know. Please don't report it, but let me know so I can immediately remove it. So that's my happy news. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not like gonna pop bottles yet, but I got down on my knees. I got down on my knees. I got down on my knees. My daughter came over. I was still on the Zoom with Sabrina, and she came over to do her laundry. And then she left, and she's like, "Mom, can you please switch my laundry from the washer to the dryer?" And I was still on the Zoom with Sabrina, and so I was like, "Sabrina, don't let me forget. The second I get off this Zoom call, I need to do 2 things. Don't let me forget. One, I need to take Tabby's laundry and put it in the dryer, and 2, I need to get down on my knees and say thank you to God." So I did that. I did that. And I really believe that um I just really believe in the power of prayer. And I still don't know how I got that email. It actually came from the email that I originally wrote every day a million times. But I think I think it could have been it. I don't know. I don't know who to credit for it. Um, because it was probably a combination, or it could have been any single one of those efforts. It could have been the friend of the friend of the friend of the friend that worked at Meta. It also could have been the company in New York. It also could have been the local cyber security company that professionals that were trying to help me and had an open chat with Meta and a case number that was being held open. And it also could have been from my continuing to email that email address like a maniac. So I don't know how, but I just really believe God decided to, for whatever reason, to allow it to happen and then to bring me back. It did humble me. It did it did bring me closer to God because I get distracted and I forget how much I need divine intervention in my life. And was made acutely aware of it over these last nearly 2 months. Um, so I do have a call to action for you. And then a confession. My call to action is change your password, please, for the love of God. Change all your passwords. Change all your passwords. And don't ever trust any legitimate looking business. Don't even trust a legitimate business because there's human beings that work in these legitimate businesses. Now, what I do want you to do is who you do trust, who you trust. You trust. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a virtual assistant that works for your company. But one of my missteps along the way was I had made some of my trusted colleagues and associates moderators of my groups, my important groups, but I hadn't made them admins. And that was a mistake. So like one of the things I immediately did today is I am making my virtual assistant, um, I sent her admin requests across the board for everything important to my business because I trust her with my life. And because had she been an admin of those accounts, it would have helped. Um, So those are some of my calls to actions. Change your password. Never click on a damn thing ever as long as you live. If you want to buy something from like Nike, you go to Nike.com and do it. Don't click on their ad. Like, never again. Never. Okay. The other thing is, my confession is I really was surprised in this process to discover some people didn't surprise me, you know? Like some people that I know love me. I was not surprised by their outpouring of support and sympathy and understanding. And then just some people surprised me in both directions. Some people that I thought were like cared about me, maybe professionally and stuff like that, I I didn't hear from. And like even the simple things like, please help me rebuild. Please go to the new warrior underscore group underscore fitness Instagram account that I built out of the rubble, trying to rebuild from scratch. Please go like that, follow that new account. Like, so I was like surprised by just a handful of people. I'm like, oh, okay. Not so much support. Not so much love there. Okay. And like similarly, like when I created that other new Facebook pay account, the LND word account, the tiny one that's new, that's also restricted. Ugh. Anyway, it was weird because it was like a new account. I could see people who had like, I could see people who have like unfriended me. They were like suggested friends. I'm not someone to unfriend or block someone. I mean, I've had some internet trolls, like full on trolls that have said horrible things about me or whatever, telling me I'm ugly and stuff like that, that I will block. But like, I'm not one to block someone I know, even if like, I'm not their biggest fan or something. I'm not one to do that. I don't have a poison pen and I'm not one to like be reactive emotionally. Um, or like I don't like internet drama, so I just kind of like I don't do stuff like that. But people occasionally do that to me, I guess. So um as I've as I have like been blessed and received so many blessings and so much success in the industry, I have had more haters. And so it was just kind of like sad to like create a new account and be like, oh, here are some of the people that like blocked me. Now I see. So I guess that's a confession. But on the flip side, like the outpouring of love way outweighed that kind of stuff. Um, and so that was just interesting. And then the other confession I have is not really a confession per se, but I love Facebook memories. And one of the things I was so saddened by is that, I loved seeing the memories. Like on this day 7 years ago, on this day 9 years ago, on this day 2 years ago. I love those. I love seeing like my animals when they were littler, or my kids, or different gyms I've worked out, or old trainings that I've led, or um, I love Facebook memories, and it was just something I really missed. And now they're back. Oh, my other call to action is get all of your photos and videos off, out of, like, not take them off, but like put them in a real cloud, not a social media cloud, because you could lose it at any second. You could lose it at any second. You could lose it at any second. So, do you have the photos on Facebook somewhere else? And the videos somewhere else, and all of that, because that was part of the devastation for me, is the loss of those things. So anyway, good news for now. I hope there is not a part 3, that this is part 2 of I got hacked and done. So I'll see you on the internet. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining in on the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you're interested in becoming a warrior instructor, go to warriorinstructors.com. But if you want more and found this episode amazing, please give us a rating. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. So remember, be brave, be bold, be blessed. And above all, listen, learn, love.